we're now on the road to a compound. We're now heading a community called Breastworks.
Breastworks.
Breastworks. And it's called Breastworks because this is also where Nanny of the Maroons is. Nanny of the Maroons. She was the leader of the Maroon clan. She was revered both as a military strategist but also as a spiritual practitioner and also a herbalist. She was also a herbalist.
The Nanny of the Maroons.
Nanny of the Maroons. And so her strategy in combat was very unique. So she's revered a lot. This is called Breastworks because it is said that this is where she came down and signed a treaty.
Okay.
Yes.
With the British.
With the British. Because there was a British barracks. I think we passed it. Yeah, there's a British barracks up on the road a while ago that we came. So there was a tanker there, military barracks, where a lot of soldiers were stationed. So this is called Breastworks because I don't remember some story about them firing bullets and it didn't penetrate her breast. Something of that nature. But she's revered not only as a leader but as a military strategist because most people in Jamaica don't know that she used her knowledge of herbs to portray herself as a person that had spiritual powers.
Right.
So, for example, there are herbs that contains a high amount of what we now call cyanide.
Cyanide.
Yeah, it contains herbal compounds in it that when you beat it in the water, it utilizes the oxygen in the water, and it causes the fish to float. Back then, when people didn't understand that would have been considered to be magic.
Wow.
She also knew what herbs to add to the river to turn the water to red, which they would say she had the power to turn water into blood. Yes?
But she knew the herbs.
She knew the herbs, right. She knew herbs that she could use, they say, to work witchcraft. And so because of her knowledge of herbs, the strategy that she used to overcome the British was she instilled in them fear of her. And so they didn't want to, they didn't think they were battling an ordinary woman.
Yeah.
Yes?
But they were battling some spirits.
Right. Or a woman with spiritual powers. But all she did was that she used her knowledge of herbs to manipulate her enemies. And so that is one of the reasons why I say that herbs should be featured more in the recognition of the Jamaican independence celebration because we feature a lot of the food, we feature the music, we feature so many aspects of our culture, but we don't feature our herbs. And our herbs did not only just keep us alive in terms of health, our herbs was used as a military strategy in terms of never being defeated.
Right.
Yes. So as a practitioner of indigenous Caribbean medicine, part of what I want to do is to help to teach that knowledge and to help to keep that legacy alive because I don't believe herbs has its rightful recognition of our culture. It had, but now that is diminishing because I don't believe as a country our government is doing enough to preserve that knowledge for future generations, you know. So that's part of my goal. My goal is to work with the Maroon communities, indigenous communities, in passing on the knowledge that I have, in ensuring that in our healthcare system, herbs is considered, is seen as a viable option for those who want to. Because, I mean, I'm not against Western medicine. Yeah. I believe it has its place. Yeah. But I believe that we have evolved into a culture where we see Western medicine as being more respected.
Yeah, we'll prioritize that one.
Yes, right. Yes, and so maybe one of the things I'd like to do when I'm here, I'd like to because all these herbs, I know all these herbs, and I can tell you what they are used for. And but within the Maroon culture, because slavery was also accompanied with Christianity. One thing that Christianity has done, I mean, Christianity has its benefit and its negative. One negative that Christianity has done to our culture is that Christianity has instilled in our people a fear to embrace
Right.
Our African culture.
Right.
Because what they have done is that they have demonized.
Right.
And sadly enough, Christianity, even though it has demonized African culture, the same Africans, we glorify European paganism.
Yeah.
So once it is black, it is bad. Once it is white, it is good. So even the same Christians will tell you that aspects of European paganism is wrong, like Christmas and so on, but they still celebrate it.
Right.
They still celebrate it. And they don't have the same skepticism for celebrating Christian pagan festivals as they do, let me say, for African pagan festivals.
Right.
You know? So because of that, we find that the knowledge, even when I go into, I did a piece where I went into the Maroon communities, and it's almost as if a lot of Maroons are very apologetic. They're very apologetic, and they're very careful not to mislead anybody into thinking that because they embrace their African culture, that they are satanic. Because it's almost natural in our culture to believe that once you embrace anything African, it is satanic. That's the danger that Christianity has done.
So I want to ask a question, right? I was thinking from what you're saying, I can deduce that even here in Jamaica, there are certain people who believe that using herbs, using leaves, using what we have is satanic.
Yes.
I thought it was only Ghana.
No, it's also
because
here in
Ghana,
Jamaica.
some people, because they've adopted, I will use the word adopted, a Christian life.
Yes.
They feel anything traditional is satanic.
Yes.
And they don't want to have anything to do with that.
Yes.
Is it like that here in Jamaica?
It's very much like that here in Jamaica. And I'll give you an example. Now, the medical doctor or the scientific world will tell you that if a herb has medicinal properties, if it is ingested orally, you will benefit from those medicinal properties. They will also tell you that because the skin is the largest organ, the skin absorbs nutrients, the body absorbs nutrients through the skin.
Right.
Which means that if that same plant that you drink, if you were to use it as a bath, you would also get medicinal benefits.
Right.
But if you were to tell somebody that you're going to take a bath using herbs, or you're going to go to Portland, or you're going to St. Thomas to visit a healer, and they're going to give you a bath, immediately it is looked upon as being satanic. It's immediately.
The same as us.
Yes.
Same.
Yes. So that is the type of skepticism, that is the type of belief system that I am trying to dismiss.
Right.
And I'm trying to encourage practitioners. I run a school, Boston Institute of Natural Medicine. So I run a school where I train persons to become herbalists. But I tell them there's a difference between becoming a practitioner of what I call Western medicine, because that's how I started out, as a practitioner of Western medicine. But I don't see myself as a practitioner of Western medicine, Western herbalism, sorry. I practice indigenous Caribbean medicine. And it's very different, very, very different. And I can, talk about the differences. But I am proud to be a practitioner of indigenous Caribbean medicine.
Wow. And what makes it, what do you think are the possible ways we can project Caribbean or herbal medicine or African medicine?
Yes.
Because I know from where I am, when it hurts and there's blood oozing, you get a sore. Immediately, that older person amongst you will go to the bush, find this leaf, squeeze it, the water that comes out, put it on it, and then you are good to go.
Yeah, it coagulates the blood.
Yes. So, what can we do as either Africans or Caribbeans together or individual, what can we do to project herbal medicine?
Well, one of the first thing we have to do is we have to have an education system. And that education system has a task. One of the tasks of that education system is to begin to validate. Because one of the things is that a lot of our ancestral knowledge, we know that it works, but we don't know how it works.
Right.
And because we don't know how it works, we think that it is tied up in mysticism, because our ancestors, because they didn't have a very good scientific knowledge, they explain things from a spiritual perspective. So one of the first things that we need to do is we need to begin to educate our society, and we need to begin to scientifically explain how a lot of these things work. And so once we start to do that, it begins to help people to understand that a lot of what our ancestors do, even though they weren't able to explain it, we now know from the sciences how it works. And so once we begin to do that, then we also need to have programs where we have a system where the younger generation can connect with the older generation to ensure a successful transmission of the knowledge.
Yeah.
Because one thing that has happened to us that I've benefited from is that a lot of the older members, a lot of the elders in our society has died with a lot of knowledge.
Right.
And so because they have died with that knowledge, we can't regain it. You know, so we need to have a system of transmission. We need to have a system where we also document, because a lot of what we have has been passed on traditionally. There are different traditional medicine systems. One of them is what is called traditional Chinese medicine. If you look at traditional Chinese medicine, why it is respected is because they have not only through oral tradition preserved the knowledge, but they have preserved it through written form.
Written forms. Okay. Okay.
So that's what we need to do. So we need to have written form. We need to support it with scientific data, and then we need to have a system where there is consistency and uniformity among practitioners. So that's one of the things that I'm working on, to build a system where if you go to 10 different practitioners in Jamaica, the verbiage, the method of practice is similar or consistent.
This is a concern, right? We know, and per what we've read, what we've seen, the other side of the world do not want Africans to progress.
Right.
The other side of the world.
Right.
Now, they are the same people who come out and say, scientifically, this is the process for us to go through to confirm that, okay, this is working, this is not working.
Right.
But it's the same people who are holding these processes.
Yes.
So do you think, as far as we can go, we are trying, but do you think these people are ready to say, okay, all right, Africans want to say that, okay, they are good with their herbal medicines and blah, 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 blah. So let's agree and say that scientifically, it is good to use this and that. I feel they will still try to say, no, scientifically proven this is not good.
Right.
So still keep using our tablets, still keep using our medicine. Don't you think that is also the reason why herbal medicine, even in Ghana, you give somebody an option to choose locally made
product
to the foreign one. They will choose the foreign ones because they believe anything foreign is good.
Right. So the system has somehow successfully, and this is how they did it. They would say, how educated is your grandparents? I mean, and basically what they get us to doubt is the education system, the wisdom of our ancestors, which is also one thing that I'm also promoting. Because our ancestors didn't go to school. Education was very different. In our modern times, the system would want us to believe that our education is more advanced. It has built on what was there before. But the technology, the wisdom that existed before was also education. And so what the system has done is that they are somehow convinced us into believing that the wisdom of our ancestors was not equivalent to the wisdom now.
Yeah.
And so because of that, that is how they get people to trust. Because you said something, modern science rarely ever disproves or disqualifies the benefits of ancestral wisdom.
Yes.
In other words, it's always validating. It's always, the news is always saying, current research have now found that the benefits of X plant is as stated from years ago, because our ancestors had our own, what we call our own trial system. It's based on traditional use, years of use. So that's the reason why you won't find modern science ever discrediting traditional knowledge in terms of its efficacy. What they will do is they will try to instill a fear.
Yeah.
So they won't discredit, but what they will do is instill a certain level of fear so that you don't want to try it. That's what they will do.
That is what they will do.
So we have to be able. So our Western traditional medicine, again, because it wasn't a very exact science, because it was based on lifestyle.
And try and error. Was it like? Could we say that?
Well, no. So our Western medicine is, if you try.
No, I mean the African medicine.
Yeah, it's based on trial and error, but because it's not as poison and as lethal as modern medicine,
right,
you could try and live to share the experience. With modern medicine, it's not like that, because it's a very concentrated form of medicine. You can try something and not live to tell the effects. So they use the same approach with Western medicine. They apply the same methods to traditional medicine, and it can't. I tell persons, traditional medicine has to be approached differently from Western medicine. It has to be approached differently. Western medicine is a very exact science.
Right.
Very exact science. Traditional medicine is not.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can't approach it the same way.
Wow, it's a beautiful conversation we are having here. We're heading towards the Maroon community in Portland. We're still on our way. The road is just like a road in Ghana called Ibri or Latte. The road is on top of a hill like this. So you have to take your time and be maneuvering your way through. If you mistakenly do something, you're going to go down there.
Yes, over the precipice. And by the way, this is where we had a big accident here. We had about...
Really?
Yeah, about 11 or 12 people died right here. Right on this spot here. It was a market truck that was carrying people to the market. And it was overladen, took the corner, took it wrong, and they went up right in there.
That was some time ago?
Some time ago, right? They're buried up in the community where we're heading. Buried in that. And so, the Maroons I spent some time with them, I lived with them, and again, they're very different.